listen-only mode.
All right, this is Mike. Let's start with the Lord's Prayer, and we'll go from there. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Here we go. I'll tell you, I was talking to an OMG or John at OMG Live. We really miss you, but I got to tell everybody, it's kind of unbelievable. John's on with us, even though he even just had surgery. Was it yesterday, John, or the day before?
Oh, excuse me, yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning. Okay, great. Wow. I'm obviously we're glad to have you on here. Sure. Liz actually just walked in the door, so she is running to get her laptop straight. Anyways, John, certainly our prayers are with you, and we really appreciate you jumping on. Obviously, by far above and beyond the call of duty, and of course, we all hope that you're on the mend. We miss you at OMG Live, and we just hope that you recover quickly, and that you're back in great shape. And I know you're going to be in awesome shape for April when you and Liz kick off the second China Mastermind. We'll get to talking about that in a few minutes.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And obviously, our 2016 slate for what we're doing with Amazon and how you're involved with that is just unbelievable. We've also got Susan McDowell on the line. Susan, you just came back from OMG Live. Do you want to give folks, I'm sure people are chomping at the bit, especially for your impression of Liz, and of course there was some other fireworks with some other e-commerce stuff, and then all the SEO stuff. What's your 2 cents on things, Susan?
Oh, it's going to take me 2016 to process everything I learned. This was my first.
Susan, your microphone wound up getting kind of somewhere in there, getting jacked up. It's not coming through too well. Do you want to retry it or reboot and come back on?
Can you hear me?
Oh, that's much better. Great, that's much better.
Okay, sorry. No, I just said it's going to take me most of 2016 to process everything I learned. This was my first OMG Live, and it was incredibly awesome. Both from an SEO point of view, but also from an Amazon and off Amazon e-commerce point, which I think is where everybody on Amazon eventually wants to get. There were even some techniques for starting your e-commerce off Amazon. Can't say too much because of the NDA we all had to sign, but it was really a game-changing week. I went to both sessions 1 and 2, and it was wow. I mean, Liz, of course, blew everybody away, but beyond Liz, there was real depth in Amazon and e-commerce in both sessions. I think it was incredible.
Absolutely. And I'm making Liz an organizer right now. I'm also going to grab one other person out of the audience who is at OMG Live Nashville and make him an organizer so he can also see your question. Let's see. Great. David Fripp, are you there?
Mike, how you doing?
David, what's your 2 cents on OMG Live Nashville?
It completely blew me away. I mean, from the player coaches that presented some amazing stuff, top tips, and one of the key takeaways actually for me was keep it simple. I think most of the coaches just went back to get the basics absolutely spot on, and then you can add on the rocket launchers and whatever else to it. But yeah, that was one of the key takeaways for me. I think more often than not we try and complicate everything that we do, and actually keep it simple, get the basics right, and then you're in a perfect position to add the rocket launchers and fire your Amazon, your SEO, your whatever you're doing online to the max, and then obviously it's just meeting everybody, and so more often than not we're very much stuck behind our own PCs and our own houses, offices, whatever it may be. And to actually come face to face with not only the coaches but your kind of peers in that world and share knowledge and experience and thoughts and motivations, it was blew me away. And a little bit like Susan just said, just absorbing all the information is the next challenge, and I'm working through my notes and filling in a few gaps with a few people that I went there with, because there was so much to take on board. But it was amazing, and I actually said to David Mills that why aren't you taking pre-bookings for next year, because I would be straight on there right now.
Well, of course, we really appreciate that, and that's such an honor. And you know, the exciting thing for folks that didn't get to go there, again, this is always such a win-win-win with OMG. The fact that we had OMG live, which was, by the way, no given. You know, really before Cotton for his part, and also really Liz really stepped in and kind of really took a massive level of responsibility for the event. Cotton, I just don't think that we would have been able to do the event overall without Cotton this year. I can't see how it could have coalesced and been the great event that it was. And then for Liz's part, she just really took a commanding role on Sunday. It was just absolutely electrifying. And this is great news for everybody. I'll kind of explain a little bit about Liz's just like 20-hour Sunday, which was she essentially sacrificed her birthday to prepare to go just completely all out on Sunday, and she really did that. It was unbelievable. Although we did get to celebrate some birthday cake with her at midnight, right as she turned 21. It was a wonderful experience. But anyways, it's such a win-win-win. Of course, everybody got to benefit, just like with the China Mastermind. Obviously, not everybody can go. It's extremely limited space and bookings and so forth. And of course, everybody hopefully ultimately will go at least once. But for now, it's very limited space. So of course, everyone can't go, and it's it's a budget issue for some people and so on. But it's just such a great win, because then we get so much more content beforehand. We get tips and tricks and training and just scientific advances that we wouldn't get otherwise. And then our members carry back this incredible information. David Strauss is just blowing my mind with the amount of success he's having, sometimes thousands of dollars a day at this point, just incredible, carrying it back from there. And, Susan came back with a great idea. Ty, don't even get me started about Ty. So great. All the wonderful things involved, Jen and all the people involved. So we all wind up with more information from it. Now, of course, some information, in closed door environments is kept, behind closed doors. For example, Adrian Morrison showed extremely successful Shopify store at OMG Live Nashville. But he literally said the only reason he showed it was because it was non-recorded, non-disclosed. He actually literally said to David Mills, Liz, I don't know if you know this, but before he actually showed his actual site, which of course is critical to his presentation, he actually said to David, I'd love to show the site, but I assume that this is going to be recorded, and you just kind of can't get it out there on the internet and so forth. And David was like, no, actually, not only is it not recorded, but everyone here is under an NDA to not share it. And so then so Adrian just went nuts. He just showed a $10,000 per day Shopify site. Actually, it's funny. Me and Liz did a follow up. Liz, I don't know if you know this. I didn't realize it myself, but Adrian did like $500 in sales during the hour that we were on with him yesterday, and that's actually a slow part of the day. Oh, I don't know if Liz's mic is live. Let me check. Yeah, she's in.
Oh, can you hear me now, Mike?
Yep, I got you, Liz.
Oh, now you can hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, Adrian had an awesome, just overall his whole concept is pretty much like groundbreaking. I've heard of it in theory, but I haven't actually seen it executed as well as he does, but I thought it was pretty exciting just to see it, like while I was sitting there with him for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then to actually see it live while we were at the conference. That was kind of amazing, just to see how much success he was actually having with it. So that was really a exciting thing about the whole weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Liz. And let me just heap some praises on Liz here. And everybody really wins out. I'll tell you this: there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come into OMG 2016 because of OMG Live, and it really would not have happened otherwise. There was critical meetings, timely meetings that had to happen. A lot of contribution all around, and just Liz. Oh, you guys got to know, just Liz went nuts. So starting Sunday morning at 9 p.m., Liz was awoken by Susan Ann McDowell's alarm. Luckily, Susan wisely set her alarm and left it there for Liz. And Liz jumped out of bed. She put on her ninja suit and she went downstairs. And she really just she was just fabulous. Person after person after person came up to me during her 3-hour presentation. We had, of course, breaks here and there, but people were just electrified and inspired and informed. She's incredibly informed. All the scientific results that she was able to pull from and share, and even some things that John was able to help her, make sure that he had some stuff around, even if he couldn't be there himself. And it was just unbelievable. It was just absolutely unbelievable. So then, but wait, there's more, because Liz didn't just stop at just completely blowing everybody's mind Sunday morning. She, without missing a beat. So Adrian comes up. This has all happened. It was the craziest thing. It happened, but all in real time. And for those of you that were there, you can really like kind of feel the narrative of this with me. We knew Anthony Morrison was coming, but he told me on his way there he was able to get his brother Adrian, which I was hoping he would, and that Adrian, Anthony just found out that Adrian's up to making $10,000 a day on Shopify. And, did we care to have him speak out on that? And I said, sure. But the thing is with OMG, obviously we don't just shoot from the hip. We have to have some sort of a process or some sort of an understanding of how this fits into OMG, SEO, and of course OMG Amazon, and just our e-commerce stuff. And that just means Liz, and it's it. It's just on her shoulders. And there's really, if you think about it, there's just nothing else we could do, right? Liz is, she's the one that's there. She's responsible for this. But she just gave, the speech of her life, just completely blew everybody away. Everyone just erupted into applause on their feet, stopping and cheering. And then to go from that to me saying, hey, Liz, by the way, would you basically vet and grill Adrian and rip his, business apart and go in the next 2 hours I have until he's going to speak. I want you to just, reverse engineer his whole business and come back to me and tell me what you think. And is this something that we can share with people? Does it make sense? If so, how does it make sense? Really? I mean, that was because I just don't know. I mean, remember, Liz built $1,000 a day Shopify site this year, just this year. So she has that knowledge. So Liz goes and she just in there with Adrian, just asking every question, every detail. And he's great. So transparent, opens up his stores, opens up all his back end, shows her his advertising on Facebook is the way he's doing it. So he shows her that and his whole model. Liz comes back. She's blown away. She says, it's great, Mike. So then I'm like, that's awesome, Liz. I need you to give another speech then. Because now, on top of everything else, now we have to have Adrian involved. But what am I going to do? Get the cliff notes from Liz, and then because I just don't understand it, right? Like I haven't seen it. Of course, Liz could explain it to me, and then I could explain it at some point, or I could see it myself. But we just didn't have time. So now Liz has given her speech, gone through Adrian's business, and now I'm asking her to introduce Adrian at 8 p.m. So we're already almost 11 hours into her day for her. So she keeps the ninja suit on, and she jumps out and she takes the mic and really just gives just a riveting and wonderful welcome to Adrian, who's going to come out and just blow everybody's minds at this event, which he does. So his thing was great. It was great. I actually was pulling up some pictures for him because he was just mobbed. Look at this. Oh, this is Stephen. Stephen was mobbed too. Let me show you this one. So this is Adrian after his speech, and you couldn't get anywhere near him. I actually, in order to take this picture, there were so many people around him. I actually had to climb up a chair to take this picture. And this doesn't show nearly all the people that were there. This is Adrian right here. Here's, of course, Hong Kong Larry, Dr. Larry, is right there looking handsome. Actually, I see several people in the picture that I know just recently giving OMG earnings reports. Anyway, so Liz does that, and she introduces him. She's electrifying, and his speech was great. And so then, but then in between, we're trying to figure out how basically we had to tie everything together with Anthony's speech and have everything make sense. Again, I can't get into all the details, but Liz just stayed there the entire time, working back and forth with me and Adrian, Anthony, and David Mills to help bring things together. And Anthony spoke till almost midnight. Okay, almost midnight, and as if it wasn't enough, I needed Liz to help me kind of wrap things up. So she literally gave a speech almost at midnight. After starting the morning at 9 a.m. with her rousing, incredible speech, we had this whole almost circus. Of course, it's like a money getting circus because we actually already have an earnings report from what Adrian shared. I'd pull it up right now, but I can't remember if there's anything like somewhat confidential in it. But OMG took it home and in the first 24 hours made like $300 with a brand new e-commerce store for $12 of ad spend. Something crazy like that, Patrick. So anyways, so that was all great. But then Liz still wasn't done because she literally went out. I'm not making this up. She went to Drake's with everybody. All the OMGers are there, celebrating, talking, discussing, excited, making deals, sharing. And Liz sits there until 4 a.m., including buying a humongous round of pixie stick shots for everybody. I mean, really, so this is like 20 hours into her day, and she's still answering people's questions, putting people together for deals, and just discussing and just soapboxing, right? And also just hanging out and just celebrating with everybody. Like, what a great event. So I just wanted to just say that Liz was just absolutely the belle of the ball, as anybody would have expected. But if you ever get a chance to see Liz speak live, it's so special. She's just so gifted. With her on the microphone. That's not taking away from anybody else. There's the talent on display at OMG Live Nashville this year from both the player coaches and then from our additional people who came in, and even just from our members there. It's just so unbelievable and just so wonderful and extraordinary. But just for our purposes, we're a little bit focused on Amazon here. And whoa, I mean, Liz was just so inspiring, and you just see how caring she is, how she really remembers where she came from and the challenges that she had to overcome, having to finally having gotten a good career together with the poker and doing very, very well with that, and having that all just really yanked away from her, having the rug pulled out from underneath her, and going through that whole crisis and having her whole family just depending on her, mortgages to pay. Her sister, doesn't want to lose her dream of being a nurse, and she's in nursing school. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. And Liz just turned it around, and she remembers that, and it really powers her. She really holds it close to her heart, because there were times, there were heartbreaking moments, right? It wasn't just obvious how it was all going to happen or all come together. It took a lot of courage, and by the way, her family really hung with her, and it was a wonderful thing. So anyway, Liz, I just kind of wanted to take this opportunity to just thank you for such an incredible event at OMG Live Nashville.
Awesome, thank you. It was actually I had such a blast, especially the pixie stick shots. That was definitely a nice ending to the night. And surprisingly, there was about 50 people there. There was quite a bit of people still left on that cleanup crew at Drake. So I think the real special thing about the OMG Live event and what people should take from it is the fact that we powered networked. And that's, I know, something that I talked about in my speech, but we really took it to a new level. And I know, for one, I got to really meet with a lot of the Amazon people, and they kind of, it was actually quite a bit of people from the mastermind, which is kind of interesting. Uday was there, and David Strauss, and Peter Swanson, and a bunch of other guys that I know I'm leaving out their name, but by no means, those are just the guys that I remember that were at the cleanup crew at the end of the night. Tyler was in there. So it was really, really nice from that perspective. And again, there was about 8 or 9 people from the actual mastermind. And again, by going out there and networking, they kind of solidified like the relationships they had already previously made. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's just inspiring, Liz. And I'm just really licking my chops for 2016, what we have in store for current Project Breakthrough members, and for members of Director's Cut going into next year, Director's Cut 2, where people joining Project Assimilation, all new. But anyways, regardless, what we have in store when it comes to Amazon and e-commerce is just lights out stuff. And I think that it's just such an exciting time to be inside of OMG. So what we probably want to do at this point is get to Q&A, but I really, I thought that was a great thing to do. And boy, the good things that are going to come, like Liz said, that power networking and the sharing that she does and spreads, and it's infectious, and it gets around. It gets around and it really helps people. And boy, also just to see the excitement into Q4. Remember, we took like a couple of weeks at the beginning of October to really, really gear up for Q4, and the excitement from OMGers that have already begun their Q4 prep and where they're locked and loaded is palatable, and it's going to be really, really, really exciting. Actually, I see several people on the Webby today that I saw at OMG Live, so it's great to be there with you and amongst friends. But boy, we have such fireworks lined up for 2016. Everyone's going to just massively benefit. Of course, as we close out 2015, we're going to close out with a big, big bang. Everybody knows that me and Liz like to have things be a money-getting party. So that's exactly what we have turned it into. So what we want to do is dive into the question box and get a sense of, I never share my screen, so silly of me. Okay, well, I'll just share my screen now. And my apologies on that. So I guess this has just been a total audio thing. Oh, I said that I would pull up the picture of Adrian, and then you must have been staring at a blank screen. So obviously that was a bit silly. My apologies. Here's that image right there. And that's Adrian, and there's Dr. Larry behind him, and just wonderful. There's Cosmo right there. Heard from Cosmo. Wonderful meeting him. He always does the Lord's Prayer with me, which feels great. It was just, boy, what an event. So win-win all around, and everybody on this event here tonight got to benefit from it, both because the market leading up to OMG Live and this China Masterminds that Liz and John are doing as well always gives us an excuse to give you a lot more stuff that we wouldn't have been able to get otherwise from people that are coming to those events. The special guests. And by the way, the reason that Liz made it just in the nick of time was, once again, what was she doing today? Power networking. She was going all the way down to South Beach. We're up in Sunny Isles Beach, which is about a half an hour away from South Beach. And that's what she's done. She went down there and met with Morgan, who's an OMGer having just unbelievable success on Amazon. And actually, even the day before that, she met with another individual that she's trying to draw into the China Mastermind, somebody who lives up north of here, but not too far. Somebody who I know is just killing it almost at the same level of success that Liz is, to the point, 6 figures a month, and you never know, it could be 7 figures here and there. She's just always working so tirelessly behind the scenes to make things like really, really come together. Yeah, David Strauss says, powered networking for the win. I want to bring David on, actually. I'm hoping that we haven't had him on a webinar yet, and I got to meet him more at OMG Live Nashville. I'm curious for what he has to say, his impression of everything that's been going on, especially since he was also at the China Mastermind, so he can speak out on that. If we happen to get him. David, are you there? I actually just unmuted your microphone. I don't know if we've got him or not. So that was just,
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Hey, David, how you going?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. It was so great meeting you again. I know we met briefly at ASM Masters in person, but it was really, really great getting to meet you and talk to you some more and hear about all the success you're having. What was your impression of OMG Live Nashville?
Oh man, that was great. I loved closing down drinks with everybody. Networking was just amazing. All the presenters were great. And I got to know Liz a lot more, and like Liz said, a lot of the China Mastermind people were there, and closing down drinks too. So, the more I get to know people, the more I'm excited about OMG and what you can do when you get to know people more. So.
Wonderful. And you actually, you mentioned the China Mastermind, and there was so much buzz about the China Mastermind at OMG Live. And of course, all the people who went, folks wanted to know from you, like, oh, wow, how was it or what happened? And you're somebody who's come out of the gate from the China Mastermind, and you're just crushing it right now. Liz actually showed me an earnings report that you sent in. It was something like $2,000 in a day. It was so impressive. What did you get out of that October China Mastermind as we kind of begin to look forward to April? Actually, as spots are starting to fill up.
I think if you're interested in Amazon and serious about it, it's a trip you have to take. Getting to know the manufacturers, seeing the process of the Canton Fair, how to source for products, and even picking products right away. Like I came away with 7 products at my launch in 2016, but I was able to look at products and then find several manufacturers there that I can compare right away, and actually take away samples too. So it's extremely valuable to be able to go to China, and especially being a part of a mastermind too.
Yeah, I mean that's really the thing that I experienced, because Liz took me. I kind of went to Liz's kind of original pickup game version of the China Mastermind when it was just her teaching it. And she took me and a couple of other OMGers, a few other OMGers there, kind of in the field, and it was unbelievable, because what it was like for me was I would just come to forks in the road that I just wouldn't know, like, how do I talk to this manufacturer about this? Should I be looking at this product here, or should I look at that product over there? Just these forks in the road. And of course, including the people that Liz brought along with her, like Kev Chan, who's Jin's brother. What he explained to me about dealing in specificity when you're speaking to manufacturers. So you have to be speaking, for example, in their nomenclature. If you're talking to somebody about anything electrical, the number one thing you really need to figure out is compliance and so forth. I mean, I found these incredible TV sets that you could stack 4 of them together, and they just make like one kind of big TV, and very, very inexpensive, but they don't have those CE certifications. If you don't know that, you kind of like walk into a mess, for example. Your impression, David, as well, at OMG Live Nashville, one of the things we did cover was we started looking more and more at e-commerce, in this case, Shopify. And one of the things that jumped out at me as you're looking at these Shopify stores and the kind of things that they're selling, you got to really, as a guy who now has experience with Canton Fair, and maybe did you wind up going to Yiwu, or did you not take part of that?
No, I did go there.
So like, for example, Yiwu plus the Shopify stuff. I mean, you have to be just like licking your chops right now.
Yeah, it's actually after the Shopify presentation, I really saw the value of Yiwu, because everything you source on, like AliExpress, or it's very similar to a Yiwu experience where you see all those products that you can make a ton of money on.
Yeah, Liz was saying that it was almost like Yiwu is almost like Hunger Games, where they have these different districts, and every district is just like these massive like shelves and shelves and shelves of any product that you can think of, and you can be buying them for like a dime, and then really reselling them, to where you're making a lot of profit. So it's kind of exciting to have just to have the power of that on your side, especially since suddenly at that point you can use FBA and get much faster fulfillment and on and on and on as you scale up your business. Well, anyways, David, I really, really appreciate you coming on and speaking out. And once again, it was just fantastic seeing you at OMG Live Nashville.
Yeah, can I share one more thing, Mike?
Absolutely, I would love for you to.
The Shopify was very powerful for me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 or 10 products that are related to my Amazon product niches, and I'm going to build that on Shopify and build an email list, and then cross-target those to my Amazon products. So, being able to source products for no inventory cost, and then you can cross-sell them to your Amazon products is I think that could really stack pretty well.
You know what? You're exactly, reading it exactly right, and that's I think what Liz intended right away when she saw what Adrian had going and how we could kind of bring things all together. So, man, I actually love that you say that. Of course, a lot of people will be listening and not knowing that exactly what we're talking about. As time goes on, this is the sort of stuff that will be made like somewhat public. There are some things that happen in OMG Live that absolutely cannot share, but there are things that, in broad strokes, it really is in broad strokes. I look forward to 2016 as well. So everyone's going to just massively benefit. So even if you're listening to what David's saying right now, you run at OMG Live, if it kind of opens you up and piques your interest a little bit, then that's really good news because it's a look forward to early, but by early mid 2016, all of this stuff will make complete sense to you. Again, there'll be some great experiences and some great details from OMG Live Nashville that you won't have gotten experience with. But you know what? Hashtag be here next year. We absolutely want to have you, and it's going to be just wonderful, a wonderful event. And David, we were so glad that you came this year. You really added so much to the event, and even you just coming on right now just feels so terrific. I'll leave your microphone unmuted in case you happen to want to chime in at another time as well.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, Liz. Well, let's get started with a great question that we had. We don't have too many questions. I think a lot of people are kind of tuckered out from OMG Live Nashville, and we just did the follow-up webinar and got a lot of hands-on questions answered on there specific to what you presented at OMG Live Nashville. Most of what you know and teach gets taught fully in OMG, but then some things are look forward to 2016, and then there's a few things that just don't scale, and that somebody else your partner with was a part of, and then you can't exactly reveal that. But anyways, Sherry says, Liz, do you have any tips for Black Friday, types of promotions that we should be running, or additional advertising?
For Black Friday, I mean, I really don't do anything differently. I sort of try to sometimes like play with the price and up it a little bit, but I really don't do anything special. I don't know if John actually does anything. I know that lightning deals, I'm not sure how often those run. I have never had one run on actual Black Friday, but maybe John can chime in on what he does. But I really do nothing special. Usually, if I haven't already prepared for it, I try to make sure that I'm ranked pretty well on Black Friday. So I've done the legwork actually weeks before Black Friday comes around.
And to add to that, I mean, the lightning deals is something that you have to get approved for early on. It's not something you can kind of do on your own. But the lightning deals, if you're fortunate enough, lightning deals are pretty powerful. Last Black Friday, I had 2 lightning deals and moved 800 units in 20 minutes on one and 500 units in 20 minutes on another. And could have done a lot more if Amazon had more in inventory. But one of the things that I do on some of my products to prepare for Black Friday is I try to create a little momentum and boost the ranking a little bit. So I'll lower my price as I'm approaching Black Friday, and then increase my price the day before. Increase it more than it was before I lowered it, or I'll add a couple dollars to the original price.
It just makes me so happy that we can get answers like this. Well, I mean, where else in the world at OMG could Liz be like, wow, I actually don't know, on that particular question, and then to have somebody who sold over 1,000 units in 2 lightning deals, and of course that is a great strategy for dipping down that price and popping back up. So John Gill for the win. So obviously fantastic answer, John. Thank you so much. Mora says, is there going to be another China Mastermind next October? Well, Mora, it's funny that you mentioned that. That is a question from the question box. John, everyone had just such excitement coming off of OMG Live Nashville and what a exciting event. But one of the biggest questions that people had to me was, hey, can you twist Liz and John's arm into doing yet another China Mastermind? Because, of course, the unqualified success where I believe you had 28 people attend. We got, my understanding, and I may be wrong by one or two people, my understanding is that we got testimonials from everybody, and including 20 people that just went on the record on video, which, some people just aren't comfortable going on video. Or you just, the timing of it, they don't know how to do it, whatever. So to have 20 testimonial videos, and I met several of the people in person who went. Of course, I'd spoken to several people, and I've experienced it myself, so I already knew. I knew what you were getting. It's one of the reasons why I really just so strongly endorsed that China Mastermind. But we actually have an update. What's the scoop? Are we gonna do it again?
Do you want me to jump in, Liz?
Absolutely, John.
Okay, thank you. The update is, yeah, we are going to do it. It was just such an amazing time. We just had the most amazing group of people there, and it was just a great experience. And the other thing too is that Liz and I got slammed while we were in Vegas with tons of people who wanted us to do it again and wanted to go actually in April. And one of the reasons I was just speaking to somebody on the phone earlier, and they were asking. So Mike, you were just mentioned that Moore said, "Are we going in October?" Not sure about October, but definitely April. And for me, April is critical because getting a new product, finding a new product, and going through the process of communicating with that vendor, getting samples. Working on your branding, packaging, and all that stuff. Anything that you find at the October Canton Fair is going to be for the following year, in all reality. So that's why April is so critical. So if you're talking about October Canton Fair, you're talking about 2017 products for your Amazon business. So and that's another reason why we did decide that we're definitely doing it in April. October maybe, but April definitely. One, because of the demand, and two, because it's necessary in order to utilize what you're going to learn and the products that you're going to find for 2016.
I went over in October, and oh wow, Ty's on too. I actually really want to bring Ty on to speak out as well. So hopefully our mic's up, so I'll do that in a moment. But John, you're so right about getting in April, because for me it was, I hadn't been in e-commerce for a while, and now I'm working with Ty, and she's just unbelievable. But I wouldn't have had any sense of what was going on or what to do, just even how things work. I wouldn't have had any realistic sense of anything. And actually want to go ahead and bring Ty live, because I think that was also Ty's first time coming over. Actually, I'll make her an organizer so she can see the question box in case something happens to pop up. I know she likes to have a sense of things. Are you, and this kind of dovetails into what John's talking about with the mastermind. Ty, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great, wonderful. By the way, it was so great seeing you at OMG Live Nashville.
Oh, thanks. It's always a pleasure to see you, Mike.
Liz said you actually took some people over to Walmart and showed them how to scan. Was she pulling my leg, or I thought she must have been exaggerating, because I know you were in sessions all the time and so forth.
Yes, well, in between sessions, I did go to Walmart and we did a little scanning, and we did some ungating of categories and just all around Amazon things to do and taking care of business.
Of course, I just find you to be unbelievable, and as I've mentioned to people before, I've been partnering with you now for a few months. I just can't say enough. It's so awesome working with you, and you just such an asset. We're so appreciative at OMG Live Nashville, that you did that for so many people and helped answer so many questions and inspire people and set a great example, and also just get in there and learn for yourself, and walk away with the things that you wanted to take advantage of. Now, as we start looking forward to this, to April, Ty, you and I both know that Shopify is really going to be more and more on people's brains, and the kinds of products that you can sell on Shopify. And I know your personality your mind must have been going nuts when both when Liz was presenting, but then when Adrian followed things up and showed the kind of things that can be sold on Shopify and how that can all come together. And then you kind of add that together with Yiwu, and that Yiwu somehow, like, and just so people know, ties a lot like Liz, where she really, really traveled a lot this year to upgrade her own understanding of things. It's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to be her partner. Is that how many times did you go to China this year, Ty?
It was a total of three times this year.
3 times this year. And so you went to both Canton Fairs with Liz. You went on that kind of initial test run with me, not a test run, but the kind of fortunate situation that came together with Liz, kind of trying to pull things together for everybody and making things go really good. And then, of course, you went to the second event. What's your impression? Like David Strauss was talking about the opportunity with the stuff that you can get in Yiwu. Is that something that, in addition, that people want? Do you feel like that there's a good amount of money out there? Because to me, I feel like it's a gold mine.
Where I couldn't hardly sit in my seat when he was presenting about the Shopify opportunity, and I wanted to run upstairs and get started on a store right away. Unfortunately, it's Q4, so I have a lot of stuff on my plate right now to get done. But actually, my goal this weekend was to get my Shopify store set up and to just start immediately sourcing stuff from Yiwu. I'm really glad that on this last mastermind trip, I had the opportunity to go to Yiwu and explore even further, because by me already having gone there and seen the opportunity and the products that are there, Shopify is just so ripe for Yiwu products. It's unbelievable. And then already being able to have connections to vendors and things like that, I'm just so ready to just kill it with Shopify. I'm really ready.
Yeah, we're gonna wreck house. Actually, I wanted to get you in touch with Adrian after this webinar, so don't run off. Because I have a little evil planning that I want to do. Yeah, absolutely. And Ty, it was my understanding that were you a yes for coming with Liz and John in April and doing a repeat of your where people can go with you to Yiwu, or is that still on the table?
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah, the more the merrier. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with Shopify and OMG and Amazon also in 2016, and just the opportunities that I see for OMGers with being able to go to Yiwu, and also having the knowledge that the overwhelming advantage that OMG gives you to help SEO your Shopify store. So I'm really excited to do that and to, the more the merrier in Yiwu. Why not?
Heck yeah, I love it. This is absolutely going to be unbelievable. So John, I hated to butt in there, but I kind of wanted to give people a sense of that in addition to the people that you and Liz are bringing together at these events, and the things that they're sharing. Ty, of course, is being a shining example of that, where on top of everything else, not only will Ty be there, and she's so obviously just overwhelmingly generous to OMGers in America, and the same, or if not more, in China, and she's been around the block several times, but also that she's going to take yet another group of OMGers from the China Mastermind over to Yiwu as like a kind of a full bonus. I mean, it just, hashtag mind blown. I think it's going to be like, what an incredible, both demonstration of what a great event that you and Liz have put together, but also so great that, we get to tell people now in advance that that's something that they can be a part, they can count on being a part of if they're going, if they get one of the last few tickets here that I know that we've kind of blown through a lot of tickets really, really fast because you guys wound up speaking in England in front of 1,500 people, and they were freaking out, and a lot of the word got around, and then you went in front of 1,500 people in Vegas at ASM, and of course we were real proud of that, and you guys were swarmed, and Liz had the ninja suit on, and you had your katana and laser gun out, and it was awesome, and now so what's the I can pull up the link. but last time around, what you offered was for you and Liz to take people into China, because again, we cannot put China in the OMG members area. It just there are things that you can do overseas that you cannot do here that can really give your business an unbelievable advantage. And you and Liz were willing to go and be there and guide people through those navigation, the navigation that they're going to. When they come to these forks in the road, go left, go right, go here, go here. Oh wait, you missed that opportunity right over there. Let me show you why. And in addition to that, you guys have brought together this incredible cast of people, including the people that Liz flew out to Miami to try to meet with. What's the offer for April of 2016?
Well, it's going to be very similar to our last one. We're basically, excuse me, Mike, is that it's a 5-day event that usually lasts longer because people stay over for the next phase. But it's 2 hardcore days in classroom where basically what Liz and I do is Liz and I and special guests, we teach what we do. We teach exactly what we do in our Amazon business to get the results that we get. So it's not going to be any fluff. It's not going to be any bull. It's just going to be hardcore tactics, systems, and strategies that we use that we get results. So what we want to do is we want to be able to teach things that somebody can apply to their business right away and get results. That's our goal. So also, we're going to, like I was saying, we're going to have some special guests there, and these people are just some of the most amazing people. People like Ty, people like Susan Jin, Mike Weir, Kerry Seabury. I think Chris Wilson will be coming on this one, and Rainer Deal. These are just super successful Amazon sellers who are not only brilliant business people, but they're amazing human beings. And some of these people were very influential in my success because they were, one, they were very knowledgeable and successful, but they were also very giving and sharing. And so, these were people that helped me. So these were the people that I wanted to be around the people that attended our event. And that's what we did, and that was a huge part, was the networking. The networking part is critical. It really is.
John, one of the things that came up at OMG Live Nashville, and I think this goes straight to the heart of what you're saying here, is, so Adrian Morrison shows up and he's got a $10,000 a day Shopify store that he's built since July or something like that. And he says he wants to show it to us, but, if we're going to record it, he can't do that. And I say, hey man, it's non-recorded, it's non-disclosure. All these people you're talking about, they're just not going to share their stuff on video, period. They're just not going to do it because you can get out there on the internet and so forth. And they want to do it in small audiences, but they do want to share. It just, they're not ready for it to share with the whole world and to get on forums all over the place or whatever. So there are some things, and it's not like you're deciding whether to put that information in OMG or not. It's just not your information. You can't, and they wouldn't do it. But the only way for it to get into OMG is for you and Liz to get these people to come out, get them speaking out to OMGers, and just helping those OMGers that we can help have even more success. And of course, as we all know, OMGers are just constantly paying it forward. So really, it's a win-win for everybody, regardless of whether you go or not. But if you do go, you're going to get hardcore secrets. You're going to see listings that you wouldn't have been able to see otherwise. You'll see people like Michael Weir showing their real stuff where you couldn't get that anywhere else. And John, it's just so incredible that you and Liz have made that happen.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I mean, we were really excited about this event, and it was 10 times more than I expected. It really was, and a lot of that had to do with the amazing people that were there. It was just such a special group. The attendees, Liz and I said this at the event. We couldn't have handpicked a better group of people to have at our event and just to be around and now friends with. And not to mention the people that Liz and I brought as special guests. They were just so amazing and so helpful and just, again, very giving when it came to the networking and the sharing. It was a special event. It really was.
All right, tremendous. Liz, what did of course we've talked a lot about you today, and rightfully so, because you've just been so unbelievable all year long. What did you want to say about this year's April China Mastermind?
I just think that it's going to be, the first time around. I thought we did a pretty darn good job. It was actually our first mastermind, but still, I thought we did a pretty amazing job, especially with the networking aspect. And we had some really good guest speakers and things like that. I really can't think of a way we didn't do a great job. There might have been a couple little things, but this time around, we're obviously more prepared, and we have a lot more exciting speakers that are coming out. And then there's just some new things that, like, I personally am trying. I'm actually going to be working with Adrian to get this Shopify store going. So I'll probably be showing the stores that I have, as well as like the progress going along with those. So we're kind of also adding in an e-commerce element to that. So I think we got a lot of great things planned, and definitely the hotel that we stay at has just been amazing. You can ask John. They literally set up our own private VPN, so we had a good time with that. So overall, I think that we're just better prepared, and I think that's going to pay huge rewards for the people that are actually going to attend this time around.
All right, wonderful. Well, let me pull up a link to join this thing. Give me 1 second here. All right. Let's see. Okay, so anyone who wants to attend, it's omgmachines.com. And really, this is an event that everyone who I spoke with said, is just without a doubt a $100,000 event. Of course, Liz and John don't charge that, but they did agree, or not agree, but they did decide to hold the price for now at the same level. There's been some discussion over the price increase coming shortly, but we're not sure on that or in the future. Also, it's just kind of selling out pretty quickly already on its own. I'll give you guys a sense of that because, of course, people want to know if we're planning. And also, the payment options change where it's pretty nice right now how they have that set up. All right, so here is the link. It's omgmachines.com /Liz-John-Mastermind.php. And let's open this up and have a look. And we haven't put the 20 video testimonials that we have on here yet, but we will shortly. Sorry about that. For some reason it's not. All right, omgmachines.com. John Mastermind. Yep. So here it is, and this is I mostly just changed some of the text on it, so it has basically the same information more or less. We did update the date and time of it right now. Now we have marked down for April 21st to 27th in China right here, and again, this is without a doubt a $100,000 event. It's just no question. They don't happen to charge $100,000. They wind up charging about $2,000 a day, which is overwhelmingly fair for their time. Of course, Liz and Don are each making thousands of dollars a day on Amazon, and of course, the special guests don't even get me started on that. To join, they're just asking for a one-time deposit of $5,000. My understanding is that's essentially refundable within reason before the deadline. They'll be about a month out before the event, then John will invoice you in April for the second $5,000 that'll complete your payment, and then that's basically it. So it's quite an easy situation. They've made it overwhelmingly simple. The only thing is that with all of the buzz, because again, Liz and John have just been on an absolute tear. They flew all the way to the UK, gave a speech, an electrifying speech in front of 1,500 people. Just applause was erupting like a volcano. People went nuts. I've seen videos. It's nuts. Okay, and they of course got stormed after that. Then they spoke at ASM. No different. 1,500 more, totally different people. Getting to meet Liz and John, many of them for the first time. Obviously, a heart-pounding event, and people are bombarding them with requests for the China Mastermind. Because look, the word's gotten around. You get 20 video testimonials I mean, it just is what it is. And even the earnings reports that you heard from David. And then of course OMG Live Nashville, which is incredible. Not as big of a scale event, but of course the caliber of OMG, and just with several OMGers there who had actually been to the China Mastermind, running around singing the praises of it, and of course Liz and John are snowballing in the success of their business. Wonderfully designed with the help of David Mills. It's just an incredible thing that they're doing. So the bottom line is that seats are pretty much limited at this point. I don't know exactly how else to put it. There's a limit of around 30 people that can attend the session. It really can't get to be too much more than that, and we essentially have a few seats left. I believe, is that about where we're at with things, John, or
Yeah.
is it a bit more relaxed than that?
No, right now we're just focusing on 30 because we just want to be able to. Because the other thing that we were doing as well, let me take a couple steps back. And in this business, one of the most critical, one of the most important, and most challenging steps is identifying products. And all the people that I've talked to in the past, that's always been the thing that's come across. Liz and I did a survey prior to this event. It was the #1 concern or interest. So one of the things that Liz and I do is at night, on the days that we're visiting the fair, Liz and we had a sourcing person there, Mandy, we would review the products that you found at the fair. And we would go over those products with you, and we would tell you if they were good and why for selling on Amazon, or they weren't good and why. And so, so it wasn't just, we were doing stuff at night. We were helping at night. So we want to kind of keep it a smaller group so that we can really focus on and bring the value to everybody who attends.
All right, great. That really is, John's absolutely right, because that's what I needed, when I was in China, and you want to do it there. And again, Liz and John, have a certain amount of time, and then they've recruited people like, Ty's here and Susan's here and Mandy, who we all know and just absolutely love and adore. And just the people that she'll bring along are always just such stellar people. But even then, but they can't help but so many people, because what they're doing is they're helping guide you through these forks in the road. And that's what's so valuable, is that you're in China and they're there to help you guide you through these forks in the road. I found this new flashlight that has such and such. What do you think about it? Is this color okay even? I mean, really, sometimes you just don't know, right? Like, can I roll this out on Shopify? Can I roll this out on Amazon? From experience, will this work? Oh, maybe if you do this version or bundle it this way, you get answers like that in the moment. It's invaluable. I mean, absolutely change your business. Why do you think we're getting so many earnings reports, OMG, from people on Amazon and e-commerce? It's just nuts. So, so just having that in the field is I just think fantastic. Again, it seems like we're pretty close to wrapping up space for this event at this time. I want to find out from Liz if she has anything more to comment about that event, and from there we'll just dive back into we have a few more questions, and then we'll probably wrap things up at some point here. So Liz, did you have anything more that you want to say about the China Mastermind before we wrap things up with a few more questions?
Not really, other than just going back to what John said about the product selection. We surveyed the people that were going to attend the Mastermind, and that's what we found was the #1 thing that they wanted to learn more about. So we focused a lot on product selection this time around. That doesn't mean that, if you want to go to the Mastermind and you feel like you have a good grasp on product selection, that we're not going to talk about anything else, because, like I said, we surveyed them and we went down the line as well, and we found out what problems each person had individually, and we as a group collectively shared our ideas and our thoughts on what could help that person fix those problems in their business. So I think those were really two key things that we sort of shared, as well as we shared some of the best tactics that actually have been working for each of us individually, and I thought that was really powerful as well. So I definitely recommend anybody that hasn't been to China but wanted to go, I highly recommend it. I feel like the first one, it was just amazing because of the amazing people that attended. Like I said, it was 30 really awesome entrepreneurs that I had the pleasure of becoming friends with, and we shared a lot of tactics, and it's just been an incredibly rewarding experience. And I think John and I, and as well as the guest speakers, like we had Jin, which was just an animal, Carrie and Michael Weir, and Ty, of course, and Smcdowell. I think that's just about everybody. Mandy, they all just put so much time and effort into making it just such a great experience for everybody, and I think it paid off. And I think going forward, it gives us just such a really good way to build upon the next one, and kind of try to make the next one just as special, which I think is going to be challenging because we had a lot of incredible people, but I don't doubt, I know personally I'm going to try and my best and work my butt off to make it even better. And I can speak for John as well. I know John will do the same thing.
Of course.
All right. Well, what a wonderful thing, and again, I want to thank you guys because of course, so much good comes of it. This is one of those win-win-win situations where OMGers, even just in hearing about it, get so many tips and details. As we let people know about this wonderful event, they win just by finding out about it. Number one, and then number two, of course, people who attend the event, of course, they overwhelmingly win. And number three, everybody wins because OMG, we just have so much more. We have more successful people in OMG, insights that come out, energy that comes into the community. We attract new Top Guns this way, and so it all really just creates a win-win-win, which is just absolutely wonderful. All right, let's dive back into a few last questions that we have here. Elena, who couldn't be at OMG Live Nashville, we really miss you, Elena. She says, John, how many days before Black Friday do you lower that price?
Excuse me. I started this weekend.
Okay, great. So you can get right to work on it. It's perfect timing. Great question and great answer. All right. Beth is looking for some access. I can take care of that. James Upjohn, who is at OMG Live Nashville. Wonderful to see you, James. He says, hey, so glad to be here. Liz has me inspired. I'm an Amazon virgin, and I plan to be getting involved with this amazing group of people. Wonderful, James. We're so glad to hear that. Maura says, are you using basic Shopify sites or Shopify templates? And she also says, are you using one Shopify site for product or brand, or like a more general store? Maura, what we're going to do, I know we've totally stirred the pot on Shopify on this event at this time. If we kind of piecemeal information out there, it really won't make much. It could be just as harmful as good. What we can do is tell you we are gearing in that direction, and we're going full force, and it's something that's important to us, and we are like a plan to get that to you is taking shape quickly. But we're not going to answer questions at this time because we don't. Answering your questions without giving you a template in the first place would be difficult. It would be ill-timed. So what we're doing is right now the value of us talking about Shopify is that we're opening you up, creating a space you can start accumulating your ideas surrounding it and so forth. And of course, we're still as strong as ever, actually stronger than ever in the Amazon department in OMG. We're getting so much wonderful information. Liz is on the edge of things, and she knows we're getting you important updates quickly. And then we'll have the same situation when it comes to e-commerce and Shopify. And we have, by the way, there's already wonderful training in OMG. Like none of this means that our e-commerce training that's in there that's helping several people make a lot of money. That all still works. It's also great. We just have a major update to come, and it's centers around Shopify. James Upjohn says he agrees with Ty, 100% overwhelming advantage. Thank you, James. Mike Bevington says, can you spell what you and Ty are talking about? Yes, it's Yiwu, which I think is spelled Y-W. Here, I'll just do it. I think that's it. Okay, and what it is it's perhaps in a sense the biggest shopping mall in the world, but it's just filled with wholesalers, and it's so big. It's like Liz said, it's like Hunger Games. It's divided up into districts, and you can be getting individual pieces that can sell for quite a princely sum at like 11 cents a pop. And just be ready to rock. It's very, very powerful. Okay, let's see. James says, question. I'm watching Liz's first videos and plan to get started in Amazon UK. James, you should talk to Obviously, sorry,
Were you gonna say
got temporarily
David
distracted
Fripp?
by something. Yeah, sorry, I got temporarily distracted by something. Huh? Yes, David Fripp, absolutely. Sorry, I just had a message come up that actually. Okay, great. So yeah, James, you should definitely talk to David, and we have a number of OMGers in Amazon in the UK. Okay, so anyways, James says I looked at the metrics for betting sets. BSR looks good, he thinks. Reviews don't look too high, he thinks, and the price seems okay. Would you mind looking at it on this call and explaining if it's a good idea or not, or why? I don't mind this niche shared. I just think it'd be highly beneficial to see if I did my research or right or not. So why don't we just bring James live and he can tell us what he's looking at, and maybe you can have a look at it for him. So let me find James here. Okay, and I'm going to make James a panelist. So he can even be the presenter. Or, well, probably won't need to be the presenter. All right, James, are you there?
I am, yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, James. So where would Liz find this thing that you're analyzing? What would she do? Like look, or what would I do? Go to Amazon UK?
Yeah, amazon.co.uk.
Okay.
And I've been looking at a few different niches, and obviously this is brand new to me. It's uncomfortable territory, but I love it. David talks about breakthrough stacking, etc. So this is definitely testing me. But yeah, this is it, bedding set. So I've been watching Liz's first few videos, and you just read to say about, like, I am inspired. I was there when David Strauss was doing his sales. I spoke with David Fripp a lot, and Liz, Jack Harvell, all these people, Ty, they're just incredible people crushing it with Amazon. So it's too difficult to ignore, actually. So yeah, I was looking at bedding sets. I signed up for Merchant Words and signed up to Amazon, whatever it was, and I had a look at the metrics for this, and it looks quite interesting. My main concerns about this was, first of all, just to check to make sure that this doesn't look too competitive. But second of all, I was looking at some of the prices that on AliExpress and Alibaba, etc., and getting a little bit confused because their prices seem to be the same as Amazon.co.uk. So I don't know whether I'm missing something there. Did you get that?
Yeah, I think Mike got cut off. So I'm not really that familiar with the UK, David. The number one thing that I would look at here is just looking at the keyword like betting set. I look along there, and the reviews aren't really concerning to me. The reviews look like they could be fairly easily to catch up with. So basically, when I look through here, I look at a couple different things. I look at price, I look at reviews, and I look at I'm missing one other thing I know that's quite important. Obviously, the level of competition, the BSR.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like those four different things. So the one thing that I can tell you that I wouldn't be able to really identify whether or not it was very well is I'm not very familiar with UK BSRs and how they are compared to US ones. Looking through here, one of the things that I noticed immediately is that the prices, there's a couple that are like merchant fulfilled over there, but the ones that are like, again, I'm not really too sure about the pound conversion. So the price is.
It's like
what is
add-on,
like
add-on,
$15.81? So $15.81 would be how many dollars?
Which one did you say? $15.81?
Yes.
It would be about $23.
Okay. So let's see, 23. The fact that the top two are merchant fulfilled is a pretty good indication that it wouldn't be that difficult to jump into. But when we look at the rankings, I don't see a lot really ranked well.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, the BSRs aren't that good. Like, I don't think 7,000 in the UK is a really hot seller. And then 6,000 in Kitchen House. So really, like the bottom line is, I'm not really familiar with BSRs and how well or how not so well they do. But I would figure there's a lot less products on the UK, and with that being said, I only see one that's ranked 1,200. The other ones are 7,000, 6,000, 20,000. There's one that's 610 and baby, 10,000, 13,000, 12,000. So not a lot in the top. Like I talk about in my product selection videos that I like to see products that are under 3,000. I like to see several of them. So with particular products, I don't see any other than one that are under the 3,000 mark. And
okay, so can I ask this then?
Sure.
Just so that I get clarity on that, because I did watch that video. You said one in 1,000 and a couple in 3,000. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's in the U.S. So here in the UK, I see one that's 1,200. That's the lowest BSR that I see, other than the one that's in baby. So I don't know if there's actually a Jungle Scout for the UK yet, but I don't know that this is a particularly
Jungle Scout. Yeah, Jungle Scout does work. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Is it bedding sets?
Yes, that's what I looked at, but it could be also another one.
Yeah, bedding sets. The estimated the monthly sales and the monthly revenue is poor. It's really bad.
Okay.
Product doesn't excite me at all.
So the fact in the US then that it's got a 1,000 to 3,000 BSR is telling you that that's a product that's selling quite a lot. Is that right?
Yes, it's selling fairly well.
Yep. Perfect. I completely get it now. That's the bit I was kind of confused about. Like, okay, that makes sense. Thank you very much.
Right. So the Jungle Scout do it for sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. I think what Liz was also trying to say too is if it's between the 1,000 and 3,000, it sells well while at the same time not being too competitive where everyone and their brother's jumping in and then it becomes a price war.
Okay, cool. So okay. And you mentioned Jungle Scout. I don't think is that something that you talk about in the OMG videos?
We actually haven't started. Yeah, we haven't started promoting Jungle Scout. Presumably we will, but I know we haven't generally put it out there. But it's seemingly a pretty great tool.
Okay, great stuff.
The tool that I actually use in those videos, David, is a similar tool. It's called AZ0N Seller Tools. But since I've found Jungle Scout, I no longer use AZ0N Seller Tools. I switched completely over to Jungle Scout.
Yeah,
okay,
so
fantastic.
That's obviously something that we'll be covering for the 2016 edition. And that's not far away. Liz is literally working on that stuff right now. She's meeting with David Mills to plan the OMG 2015 layout, and you'll have all the updates cutting edge.
Is my mic open, Mike? It's David Fripp here.
Yes, David. Please chime in. We'd love to hear from you on that.
David Strauss introduced me to Jungle Scout, and it's transformed how I can go and review, and just very, very quickly, rather than searching down through pages and pages, it's transformed out how I can look at a niche and develop new products, and it's helped me kind of line up a few ones since getting back from live. So it does simplify things for sure, and whatever else. So James, we'll chat lots more and develop more techniques within the UK, because it is slightly different, and I think the competition is less here to a degree, and the BSR might obviously might vary, but I think from what I've done using Liz's kind of methods have worked for me, and but I'm sure we'll end up tweaking them slightly for the UK.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I really appreciate your input.
Yeah, and once again, this kind of stuff is just nuts, and probably one of the things that we'll do is ask David to help in that core training to flesh out a little bit what's going on, a little bit more what's going on in the UK. Also, the UK market is probably decently there's some decent similarities to Germany, because they're a little bit about the same size. Germany, I think, is a little bit bigger. And then there's also just France and Italy and Spain that aren't as big, and then Japan's coming out now. Okay, great. That was really terrific to have that commentary. I think that was a wonderful exchange, and it kind of sparked something for 2016. Elena says, missed us too, and thanks, John. Absolutely. Dino is on. Another Amazon version here, about to set up a 50-50 revenue share with a local retailer. Congratulations. Yes, that's absolutely a great angle, Dino. How do I protect myself from a client discontinuing our relationship once our organic sales start? Do we own the seller account, or do we require a long-term contract to be signed? That's a great question for John. Let me bring Dino live. Let's just hot seat him here so we can get some additional questions. Dino, I just unmuted you.
Okay, great. You guys can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you great. Thanks for calling in.
Of course, yeah, excited to be here, excited to get into all this.
Oh, that's exciting and terrific that you've taken your SEO agency and broadened it out to be able to hit Amazon on a local scale. It's just such a goldmine. As Jack Carvel first kind of opened our eyes to, and of course John has taken a different angle on that, but very similar, partnering with manufacturers and so forth. So I thought John would be a great guy to help answer your question. So do you want to give us a little bit more of a sense of what, just to help us triangulate a little bit, what's the business? What was the approach? How did it all work?
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple different things here. Been doing some product research, and actually already have a couple products that I think are in a great niche as far as the competition seems really low. The reviews are very, very low, but it seems to be trending industries and products. So, really excited about that. For the first go around, I did want to partner 50-50 rev shares so that they can handle all the logistics, shipping and returns or whatever and so forth. But yeah, my biggest thing is when you do that 50-50 rev share, it seems like the majority of the legwork is in getting the account set up, stacking up a lot of reviews, getting to the first page of Amazon in your niche. And so I'm just worried that if we were to do that for this client, and all of a sudden they're at the top of this industry and niche on Amazon, and organic sales are coming in. How do we protect ourselves from them just discontinuing the relationship and kind of coasting off all of the knowledge and expertise and setup that we went through with them at the start?
Dino, are they bringing the product?
Yeah, so they're a retail brick and mortar store. They're selling. I don't want to give away the niche because I think it's a great niche, but they're selling out of a retail shop. They do very well locally. They just don't have an Amazon account, and in their industry on Amazon is almost non-existent so far. Because they're selling so well locally, it seems like they would naturally sell well on Amazon. And so if anybody who does that 50-50 rev share with any type of partnership, whether they're a local brick and mortar or whether they're already on Amazon, I'm always wondering, do you create an Amazon account under their brand name, or do you create your own Amazon account, come up with your own name for the product and so forth that you have ownership to, or just how do we kind of protect ourselves from doing incredible things in a partnership with the actual supplier, manufacturer of the product?
Good attorneys and a good agreement. The Amazon side, you're going to want to have a clean Amazon account just for that partnership. Just for logistics and accounting, you want to keep that separate from any of your other Amazon current or future business. But as far as protecting yourself, it's just having a good agreement in place up front.
Okay, so that's interesting. So if we create a brand new Amazon account, I mean, technically that kind of protects us in ourselves because we don't necessarily have to share that login with the client. We just want to make sure it's connected up to their CRM or accounting so they can actually go ahead and process orders and so forth. But if we retain ownership to that account, that's kind of our way of protecting ourselves to begin with. Is that right?
Yes and no. I mean, if the relationship goes south, it never stops them from opening up their own account and hijacking the listing, and it's really not a hijacking because it's the same product. So that's why I was making sure you got an ironclad, agreement up front where everybody's protected.
Right. Okay, so that makes sense. So the agreement in itself, is that a duration agreement, or what would be the general terms of that agreement? As for we don't, we would have the attorney write that up, but
yeah, that's up to you guys how you guys want to structure your business and your relationship.
Yeah, and
okay.
why wouldn't it be ongoing? I mean, it doesn't, like, from your standpoint, why would you offer them an out? That makes no sense. The thing that you do want to have, because it's the reason why it's a partnership. Now, having a buyout clause, I'm a big fan of a Solomon split in the agreement. So number one, don't get intimidated by legal stuff. You don't need a lawyer to come in and write something up for you. You can write it up yourself. You can have a review with a lawyer if you want, and I think that's a very reasonable step if you want to. But the main thing is clarity. When do you get paid, or when do they get paid? How much do they get paid? What's an expense? What's not an expense? And most important, severability. For severability, I always recommend, especially in the case of a 50-50 deal, a Solomon split where either of you can make a cash offer to the other one, and that person can buy or sell the cash offer. So let's say you and I are in a deal, and we're going to do an ongoing partnership, and we're pretty sure about it. Let's say we're going to start a Shopify site together, and so on, and then we could say that we'd have a Shopify or a Solomon split where I could say to you, okay, Dino, $100,000 or $1 million or whatever. Let's say $1 million, and so you can either pay me $1 million and give me the list, the listings, all the logins, everything, where you don't have access anymore. I control everything. I own the product, and it's over. Or you can say, no, Mike, you pay me $1 million, or the other way around, whatever. You can either give me the $1 million or take the $1 million, and then it's done. And that's the best, or a really great solution. If it's written in plain English, those things, then that's a great agreement. I don't know if you particularly have to get things notarized or whatever, but it just has to be stated what the deal is, and you do it that way. And of course, if the guy flips out, then you'll have to sue him, and that sucks. And it's a bad situation. So good reason to, or maybe it's not worth it, and you just let it drop or whatever. But of course, controlling the Amazon listing does give you something. The guy may not realize he can hijack the account. Probably he can figure it out, but possibly he won't. I certainly wouldn't bring that up to him. But I think what John said was really, really wise. And John is what I said, decently close to your experience.
Say that again, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh, did what I say? I didn't want to put you on the spot, John, but did what I say make relative sense?
No, you were right on. You were right on. I mean, every situation is different. We don't have a lot of details, and I understand that where Dino doesn't want to disclose too much, but I mean, hopefully that was helpful.
No, yeah, that was extremely helpful. And I guess the more I think about it, if we're the ones with the knowledge and expertise of Amazon, they always have to have in the back of their mind that if they do hijack the listing or retain the listing, that we essentially have the ability to go and compete directly with them. So I guess they, from that standpoint, they probably wouldn't want to discontinue the relationship in those regards. So yeah, that all makes a ton of sense, and yeah, thanks so much, John, for that input. And
my pleasure.
Mike, the Solomon split, that's something I probably wouldn't have thought of to include in the contract. So I appreciate that advice.
Yeah, David Mills 101. You have to deal with severability. You just have to. Ty and I did before we started working together. Liz and I did before we started working together. I mean, everybody. Yeah. So anyway, regardless. So yeah, absolutely have to do that. And also just remember, business carries some risk. Just pull the trigger. I mean, play some football. I mean, don't put your neck out on the line. But you have a stable base with your business. That's the great thing. Once you have a stable base, who cares? You can take some risks here and there, and it's not wrong. You just obviously, you get a sense for the people. If you feel like they've kept their agreements and they've kept their meetings on time, and you kind of give it a shot, and it's probably not the end of the world if it doesn't work out, and if it does, then you got something beautiful that can snowball one way or the other.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, ready to pull the trigger. I'm going with 4 different industries right out of the gate here, so definitely jumping into this and getting as much experience as possible. So yeah, I'm excited.
Great, great. All right, well, it's a great way probably here to end things off. Let me take a look. Um, okay. Sherry just wanted to know. Josh said there was another Amazon webinar earlier this week. There was one yesterday, but it was only for people who attended OMG Live Nashville. So we pulled together a follow up webinar for that. But again, it was once again a win-win-win for everybody because we found out more about what's going on and that's really shaping where we're headed in 2016 in a really really exciting way. I think you're going to love what David Mills has in store for you with Liz and with the rest of our team. All right. That about wraps things up. I'm going to give Liz and John and anybody else who has a mic who truly wants to have a final word, just let me know here. But especially Liz and John, and then we'll wrap things up. Once again, that to get to Liz and John's mastermind, so omgmachines.com/Liz-John-mastermind.php. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody here, but we're down to the last few slots on this. So I don't know when it'll close out, and I don't know. Maybe there's something that we can do to somehow expand space, but right now we don't have anything in place, and we did have to turn some people away last time. Luckily, those people were able to come this time, so that's fortunate. And there's every reason to believe that they may do one in October, but there's no guarantee by far. And this one is going to happen, and it's just wonderful timing. I overwhelmingly recommend it. We have 20 people who went on, gave us video testimonials. Everybody else, they loved it. There was an incredible thread that erupted on Facebook, thanking Liz and John, and of course I was a part of that. And so I just can't say enough. John, do you have some final words before we close out tonight?
Yeah, just again, it was an honor, Mike, and I appreciate you, letting me share with your group. And as far as China's concerned, we do have a couple spots open. Based on the last time, it was just such an amazing event. And like Liz said, this one's going to be 10 times better because there's a lot of new stuff to share. Amazon is constantly evolving and changing. And so since the last event, there has been some changes with Amazon. And that's a great thing about the networking. It's one of the main priorities of mine and Liz's is networking because it allows us with our group of contacts that we have of super successful Amazon sellers. It allows us to kind of stay ahead of the curve with Amazon. And so those are some of the things that we're going to share in China. So, I mean, the only thing I can say is it's going to be an amazing event. I'm just, shocked and feel very honored and privileged that the demand that's come out of this it's been pretty cool. So anyone that wants to join us are welcome to come along, and it'll be an amazing event. It'll take your business to the next level, that I promise. And I guess that's all I could say.
Right, great. Absolutely agree with you, John. The great thing about this event is it really rides on the coattails of the last event in the sense that it's just really snowballing immediately. The members are now so successful. So many of the members are now so much more successful. Like James, I was talking about sitting there with David Strauss at Drake and watching the payment notifications coming in, it's popping in, pop, pop, pop. It's a lot of fun. So there's even more people like that coming to the event. The event now has a reputation of its own out there amongst successful Amazon people, folks having incredible success that are now clamoring to get in on it. The buzz has really, really got around. The speaking tour that you guys went on top of that, and so you guys even have more incredible people to come and share. And the way that you guys have shaped the culture of this is so exciting and so accepting and close. And it was almost a little bit like a reunion at OMG Live Nashville, and closing it out at Drake's with Uday was there, and Tyler and David, and so many others. Really, really exciting time. Ty, Susan, and I guess 9 or 10 people. Liz, any last word before we close out today?
Actually, I think that John did a pretty good job of summing it up. I mean, that's really not much else to add to that. But I definitely looking forward to the next China event. I think it's going to be really epic, and I encourage anybody that wants to learn about China to join us. They will definitely not be disappointed. One of the key things that I know a lot of people in the actual mastermind talked about is the fact that a lot of people, it was their first time to China, and they were like, wow, it's so amazing, it's so different than what I actually heard about. And I think the funny thing is that when I first went, and I know John can certainly tell you that the previous times he went, he just didn't have that much fun. It was like a real grind. And for me, it was a grind finding all these great places to go to eat, these great places to stay at, getting that VPN where I can log in and check Facebook and Google and YouTube. And finally, like from all the multiple trips that we've taken together, as well as the trips I've taken with my friends, we were able to solve all that together. So it's pretty much like seeing China in like first class style. Like we know all the good places to go to. We know the nice hotel that's affordable. We know all these great things that obviously took me several trips to China to actually figure out. So if you want to see China in almost like first class type style, then I definitely encourage you to get out there and learn the ropes. After you go on this one trip, you'll never, I mean, you'll actually experience how great China can be, and you won't be thrown off by it or anything like that. You'll be ready to go multiple times because now you kind of know the drill.
And food is no longer an issue.
No, we solved that too. John no longer it was. I know in the previous times he had like boxes and boxes of protein cookies. He didn't have to use those this time around because we found the guy there that's almost like a private chef to you in a way. He was catering to our group entirely. They had a special menu for our group, so it was really nice that they went out of their way to sort of make it that much more special for us. In fact, the special menu was even much cheaper than the buffet. Sometimes is like $30 to $40, but the special menu, the meals were something like $18 with a drink, and it was just everything included. So it was really great.
They really bent over backwards for us, and this time they said they'd even roll out the red carpet even more so. So I'm excited about that as well.
Ty, please.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Ty's trying to speak, but we're not quite hearing her, or I don't know if that's a mistake. Ty, if you're trying to talk, it's a little bit light.
No, that's a mistake. That's not me.
Okay, great. Sorry about that, Ty. All right, and I apologize. Got a little bit distracted there because I thought Ty was trying to say something. Yeah, I will tell you this about one of the things I've learned about travel. I traveled to Japan 20 times. I've traveled all over the world, Europe, all over the place. And one of the biggest things is eating. I'm telling you, it's the reason why Italy is the #1 vacation destination in the world for Americans, because we want to eat good. You go to Italy, you really, really eat good. Where it can be, I found it, sometimes tough in Germany. And I know if I had a German friend, they could show me, but that's the point, right? If you have a friend there, or my friends in Paris would really take care of me when it came to eating, and they were kind of sensitive that I didn't necessarily like the things that they liked or whatever. But having that with Liz in China, I'm telling you, it's critical. It's just critical that they set that stuff up, and it just makes a absolute unbelievable difference having things mapped out. And she's done it in a way that she really cares. She's tailored it to herself and to her friends. You're right there. Again, it's like the red carpet version in China, and yet at the affordable price, which is really great. I wanted to see if we could bring one more person live. He said he had some comments about the last year's or the October China Mastermind. Ken Dunn. Hey, Ken, I just unmuted you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Ken, did you want to put the word out?
Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
I spoke about it before. I'll say it again. It was the best experience I ever had. It was absolutely wonderful. I could go on forever and just bore everybody, but John and Liz went out of their way to really, really put on a spectacular, presentation of everything they did, along with the guest speakers. It was an eye-opening experience, and I am planning on going back in April.
Wow. Well, that basically says it all. Talk about speaking with your wallet. So thank you, Ken. I think that was a wonderful way to finish things up. It's a really exciting time at OMG. I believe David Mills will be coming out with an announcement sometime soon explaining how we're going to be doing things at OMG coming into Christmas. Obviously, Liz and John China Mastermind filling up. I'm so happy for everybody. Ken, that you're going. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for all the new people that are going. Congratulations to David Strauss on all of his incredible success that he's having. Thanks to David Fripp for coming on. Thanks to Ty and Susan for jumping on. Really, this turned into quite a wonderful event. So thanks everybody. Have a good night and God bless.